Right, shalom, shalom. It's Brother YAHAWAH once again with another lesson. First and foremost, going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto YAHAWAH, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Kakodash. It's all praises to the Heavenly Father in His Son's name, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Real name in the Hebrews, YAHAWASHI. Also give a praise, honor, and glory to the Holy Spirit as well, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim and Aquath. Let's make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked generation. Also want to say shalom to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who taught us truth and who rule well. All right, so to this morning, what I want to go into is basically a particular believer, particular sister. She wanted to be edified upon staying focused in His truth, which is the fight for His all, man. This is basically the condition of the battle that the Lord has laid out for each of us believers. Each and every day you're trying to hang on. Let me grab this. Trying to hang on to your crown. All right, this is Revelation chapter 3. Hold that fast, which thou hast. Revelation 3:11, and he says, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man may take thy crown. And that's basically the condition of the battle, if you will, right, that the Lord has laid out for the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, particularly, right? We cannot expect to just have a smooth transition into the kingdom without fighting to keep this truth. And this is why edification is being poured out on a daily basis through the spirit and power of Yahawah, because this is His mercy to allow us to be edified and to allow us to have everything we need to live a godly life that He speaks about in 2 Peter chapter 1. I'm gonna grab this real quick in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 57. Right, because what that sister's going through, it's pretty much what we're all going through, man. So I, just allow this to be a lesson and chance to, edify whoever else listens to this, man, because, we're coming into days and we're coming into times, man, to where it's going to be unprecedented, man. Our faith is going to have to be at an all-time high. Our way of thinking, our decision-making skills, right? Our remembrance is going to have to be at an all-time high, right? And the Lord is, basically preparing us, using this by allowing us to use His grace period as a time for us, to get our houses in order, before the all-out hell, before all-out war breaks loose, man, because it is on the horizon, man. We see how America is just becoming more and more broken down each and every day when you wake up. Stores are, being diminished of food, millions of, been looking at some headlines, some articles about, over 4 million workers, just quit, their jobs last month, man. So all this is just a perfect recipe, then of course you still got, Biden with this, dragon juice, mandates and, all these things, man. So this is not the time for us to be, losing hope. This is not the time for us to be, backtracking into the world. This is not the time for us to, start looking other places, to find relief, because this is your relief, man. This is the only way out. And this way out is not going to be easy one, man. All right. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 57. And he says, then answered he me and said, I'm gonna start at verse 56. It says, for while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle. See that? And you bringing this truth is a battle, man. Ephesians chapter 6, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. So this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. See that? For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live. See that? So this is the condition of the battle, man. The Lord has laid out between us, before us, the so-called red pill and the blue pill, man, just like the Matrix. Now, when you take that pill that's going to enlighten your eyes, you know, you're going to know truth, but it's going to come at an expense. It's going to come with the fight, man. See, because everybody else right now, they're not fighting, man. They're living their, they're living their happiest life. You know, they have a good credit score. They have a good job. They have a happy family. They're not getting scourged by the Most High, right? Because the Lord doesn't care for them. Hebrews chapter 12 tells you that, you know, who he loves, he or Revelation 3 says that whom he loves, he chastens, man. Hebrews 12 tells you the same thing, right? And a part of us basically fighting to stay in his truth is pretty much the Lord showing that he's dealing with us, man. All right. Because the last thing you want to think is that, you know, the last thing you want to feel is that, you know, this is not a fight, you know, to stay in the truth, because once something does come, you know, be thrown your way, you're not prepared for it, man. The Lord didn't allow you to be, you know, he didn't allow you to be in that sparring match with him, you know, to basically be conditioned for that battle, man. So count it joy, you know, when you wrestle with staying in the spirit, because it's a wrestle, man. You know, we just don't hop out of the bed and just always feel good. Some mornings you do, you know, but other days it's just a fight, man. It's just like Satan's on your ass, man. You know, just like yesterday morning. I'm a prime example, man. As soon as I got out of bed, you know, I was listening to my videos, man. Satan was just trying to bombard me with, you know, these different thoughts and things like, you know, why are you still listening to this? You know, why are you still believing this? Man, you got to rebuke that demon, because that's all that is, right? It's not your spirit, it's Satan, man. It's Satan. So you got to know what it is, man. You got to know what the condition of the battle is, right? But for most of the reasons, you know, most times, more times than none, the reason why it's hard for people to, you know, keep a single eye in this truth, to stay focused in this truth, is really because of the cares of this life, man. Right? And YAHAWASHI gave us a parable about this. Let me get this in the book of Mark, chapter 4. All right. This is Mark 4. And let's see here. Okay. Questions. Yeah, we'll start right here at 13. And this is the explanation of the parable of the sower, right? And you had a sower to sow seed, which is the word, right? And basically it gave you 3 different type of conditions of the soil, which is representative of your mindset of a particular person when they hear this truth, right? So this verse 13, and he said unto them, know you not this parable? And how then will you know all parables? The sower soweth the word, all right? It says, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And that happens all the time, man. As soon as you hear this word, you usually have, you know, you could be on a street corner. You usually have a Jake as a devil. He comes up next to a brother or sister that was listening, you know, after they had the word sown inside their minds, and, you know, he takes away, you know, that word, and they end up falling off, man. Right. And these are they likewise, which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness. Right. And that happens oftentimes more than none. You know, you often have a lot of people, as soon as they hear that the Israelites, that they're above all people, that they're God's chosen people, that the kingdom is for them, they receive it with gladness. But verse 17 says, but have no root in themselves. See that? They don't have a root. They don't have a root in themselves. They're not grounded. And what gets you grounded in this truth? Experience and time. You know, because this is a relationship with thy husband. And what strengthens a relationship between a man and his wife? experiences, that woman being tested, and time, man. That's basically, and even when you consider a tree, man, the older a tree gets, the deeper the roots get, man. Right? And that tree, it has endured all different types of seasons, all different type of weather storms, and tornadoes or whatever, maybe snowstorms, right? But that tree had root, and it clung to that soil that gave its life, man. Right? And when you read Mark chapter 8, he says that I have seen men as trees. See, because we can learn, this is why Yahawashi was always speaking in parables, using, earthly things, such as trees or grass or the clouds or whatnot, or the sun, to basically explain, in a parabolic sense, your spiritual walk. This, you can look at a tree and see, well, dang, this is what Yahawashi meant about having root in myself. The older that tree gets, the more experienced that tree is, the deeper the roots are. So we need to be praying to Yahawashi that he keeps us in this thing, because the longer he keeps us in it, the more roots and the deeper our roots get, man, to where we could be damn near unpluckable, man. All right. So he says, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Yeah, these type of people that hear this word and immediately receive it with gladness, they endure just for a time. He says, but afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. Yeah, as soon as it's time for you to give up something, or as soon as you see that this is a daily thing, this is not just being an Israelite on the weekends when you hold count, right? You get offended for the word's sake, and as soon as that first affliction comes, now it's time for you to quit your job because they're mandating that thing. Now you're ready to give up. Verse 18 says, and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world. See that? Like the Spirit had me to say earlier, oftentimes when it's hard for you to keep your mind enshrouded in His truth, engulfed in His truth, is because you often are, you're caring about different things of this world, man. Now that's not to say that you can't function, you can't go to work, do what you got to do there, pay your bills, things like that. Of course we got to do that, but our minds, we're not. Let me grab this in the book of 2 Timothy. Our minds are not entangled in that thing, man. All right, this is 2 Timothy 2:4. It says, no man that warreth, see that? This is the condition of the battle. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. Why? That he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. See that? So we understand that the Lord just called us to be soldiers for him, man. So we don't entangle ourselves with civilian affairs. This is for these worldly peon Americans, man. This is for y'all to worry about your next bill. This is for y'all to worry about, what you're going to eat tomorrow. Hell, Yahawashi said that in Matthew chapter 6. Let me grab that. Matthew 6 and we're going to go back to Matthew 6, verse 25. He says, see that? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. All right. For your heavenly Father knoweth that you need of all these things. Yeah, your food, your water, your clothes. He says, for all these things that the Gentiles seek, meaning the other nations and even the Gentiles of our own people, man. This is what they supposed to be worried about. But for us, we're not supposed to be worried about the cares of this life, man. Why? Because we have just been chosen to be soldiers for him, man. And soldiers don't entangle themselves in the affairs of this life. Soldiers have a specific mind. They have a specific task at hand. All right. And that's to finish the battle. That's to conquer, man. 2 Ezra chapter 7 says that if he be overcome, right, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing which I say. Right. So basically, overcome or be overcome, man. That's pretty much the only two options. So let's go back to Mark 4. And the cares of this world and the deceit. Let me start at verse 18. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word. Right. So you hear the word, but the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. See that? Deceitfulness of riches. Yeah, you trying to worry about the next move to get rich, man. Well, before you know it, your mind is going to be so entangled in you know, these worldly affairs, to where you start, spending less time in the scriptures. You stop listening to, the videos. You stop meditating. You stop praying and fasting, man, because now your attention is focused on something elsewhere, man. Right? No man can serve two masters, man. So you got to be fully committed to this thing. Right? And this is all basically done through faith, because we haven't seen Yahawashi. We haven't seen the kingdom yet, but we believe it, man. We believe it so much to the point to where we're giving up things that we see for things that we cannot see. And that takes a special spirit, man. Right? And that's the spirit of the elect. That's the type of faith that the elect will have, man. All right. So if you count yourself as the hopeful elect, you should be doing the things of the hopeful elect, man. And that's staying focused in these promises. And we haven't seen those promises yet, man. All right. So Mark 4:19, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it become unfruitful. See that? So eventually all those things, the cares of this world, the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of these other things, right? The desires of these other things is going to eventually choke the word. It's going to basically, it's going to be like a weed, and it's going to grow around the word. It's going to, choke it out, man. And it becometh unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, right? And that's what we want to be, man. Let's go into this word receive. We want to be those that hear the word and receive it. Receive, to take up, to take upon oneself, to admit, not to reject. See that? We don't want to reject this word, man. And you not being focused in this truth, right? You're basically giving up this truth, man. Right? So this is why we got to constantly check ourselves. And I myself am included, man. Nobody's exempt from this. I don't care if you've been in the truth for a year, 2 years, or 15 years, man. This extends to everybody, man. Because he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. Sirach, I can't remember exactly which chapter it is, but he says basically don't count a man, basically don't say what a man's life is until the very end of it. Because you could be doing very good, but that last minute, that hour of temptation can basically be your hour of demise, man. So no one is exempt from this. And this is why we need to really thank YAHAWASHI that he has given us this opportunity, to basically seek him while it's still early. Seek him before it's too late, man. All right, because it's about to be too late. The Lord's about to cause a famine of the word. These devils been playing with the internet, been playing with YouTube and Facebook and all these other things. All right, so get it while you can. Get it while you can. You got to stick in it, man. You got to be fully convinced in this thing, right? But Yahawashi has given us basically, a task at hand, because with us being his children, for us, he's given us a task at hand to basically make us stay focused, man. Right? Because, that old saying that old folk used to say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. That's true, man. If you're not doing nothing, and your mind's going to be all over the place, Satan is going to have his way. But see, this is why YAHAWASHI, before he left, he commanded us to do a particular thing. And that's to teach. That's basically whatever your office is in this truth, whether you're a helper, whether you help the men of the Lord, you teach, you're a prophet, you're an evangelist, or whatever your office may be, the Lord told you to occupy. Now, this is Luke 19, verse 13. And he says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Now let's go to the word occupy. And this is basically the Lord's way of making us stay busy, right? It says to be occupied in anything, to carry on a business, to carry on the business of a banker or trader, to busy oneself with. See that? So the Lord has given us particular talents in this truth, and everyone is given the measure according to their several ability. But the Lord has given us these talents in the truth to basically make ourselves busy, man. So we can stay focused in this thing. All right, because if you got a job to do, you only focused on that job, man. For brothers that the Lord has called to be teachers, You should only be focused on teaching the word, man. You have nothing else to do. All right. And of course, like I said, you got, these other jobs and, stuff, but this comes first, man. We just basically work those, to get our little bread and, go back home and basically be strengthened up in the Lord even more, do what we got to do. But this is our number one job, man. YAHAWASHI says that he said, I must be about my Father's business. Because at the end of the day, this is the Heavenly Father's business, man. And he does not play about his business, right? So the Lord has given us particular things to do to keep us occupied in his truth, man. All right, you need to continue to read, If you see that you slacking on something, man, just start doing it more. It's that simple. Like, don't make excuses for it, right? Let me get this in Luke chapter 22, because this is also a part of that fight. Oftentimes you fight, yourself in your own mind, but we also have to consider and remember that Satan is fighting against us as well. Hence his name, or hence his title, Satan. Right, the spiritual demon Satan, which basically means adversary. So this is Luke chapter 22 and verse 31. And Yahawah said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you. See that? That he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Yeah, let's read that again. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Now, when we go into this word sift, it's a nazo.
Strong's G 4617, siniazo.
All right. Siniazo, and it means to sift, to shake in a sieve, figuratively by inward agitation. By inward agitation, meaning your mind, to try one's faith to the verge of overthrow. See that? So Satan is literally agitating our minds, man. He's trying to annoy you, afflict you in your mind. For what? To overthrow your faith, man. And this is a part of the battle. This is the reason why it's hard for, this is why it's a battle for us to basically stay focused in his truth. The Lord actually allowed Satan to do this, man. All right, just like he allowed Satan to, afflict Job. And it's basically to purge us. It's basically to try us. Because Sirach chapter 6 says, if thou was to get a friend, prove him first, try him first. Well, that's what the Lord is doing to us. And how is he trying us? By these different temptations, man. Right? So figuratively, by inward agitation to try one's faith to the verge of overthrow. Right? And James speak about this as well. We go over here to the book of James 1. And I'll just start at first verse. It says, James, and look at the title. It says, testing your faith. All right, because with you, having a struggle, staying in the spirit, staying focused, this is really the Lord testing your faith, which is a good thing, man. All right, and James is about to tell you it's a good thing. And he says, James, a servant of Yahawah and of the Lord YAHAWASHI, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. See that? So count it joy when you fall into temptation, including your faith being tested. All right, because ultimately we know this YAHAWASHI, because he's not testing 2/3 of our people, man. He's not testing the heathen. He's already got the number for destruction. But he's testing, he's proving those that have now come into this arena of truth. Right? So he can purge us thoroughly, so we can be furnished unto all good works, man. All right, so James 1 and 2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith, see that? The trying of your faith worketh patience. Now let's go into this word patience, because that's exactly what that is, man. Our faith is being tried, man. Each and every morning when you wake up, you got a new issue. You got a new problem. Or you got the same problem, except, it may just been growing or whatnot. Well, that's the Lord trying your faith, seeing how you're going to deal with these particular circumstances, And like I said, none of us is exempt from this trying period, man. We're all going to get tried. All right, let's go into this word patience.
Strong's G 5281, Hupamane.
Hupamane, and it says steadfastness, constancy, endurance. So Satan, you know, is well, the Lord through Satan is trying your steadfastness, your constancy, your endurance. The Lord wants to see how long you can endure in this thing. Well, really, he's showing you because he already knows everybody's fate at the end of the day, right? So all these things is really for us to see, man, right? And we know that the race is not given unto the swift or to the strong, but unto those that endure unto the end, like Paul stated, right? He says in the NT or New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose. Basically, you're not, you know, swerving to the left or swerving to the right, right? You stay on that one track. You know, you got that one mission, that one goal at hand, and you're staying in a straight line. It says the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings. So no matter what type of trials and sufferings you're going to get thrown at you, right? You're going to not go out of the way. You're going to stay on the on track. Now let's go into the word piety real quick. The quality of being reverent or religious, right? It says a belief or point of view that is accepted with unthinking conventional reverence. So basically you do it, you stay on this track without even thinking about it, man. Basically you're possessed. Basically you're possessed, man. And we know that that's the beauty of the elect being the sons of God. They're possessed, right? This is why you just can't, you know, you basically read, you teach, you listen, you know, and you don't even think twice about it. You know, it's just like it's second nature to you at this point. Well, let's prove that. This is 1 John 3:1. Behold, what manner of love the Father had bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Now, when you go to the word sons here, it's a different word, sons, in the Greek that's used in other places in the New Testament. This word is
Strong's G 5043. Technon,
right? And it says the name transferred to that intimate and reciprocal relationship formed between men by the bonds of love, friendship, trust, just as between parents and children. Yeah, us and the Most High, we have an intimate relationship with him. Now let's skip down here to, section C. The first line, it says, of anything who depends upon it is possessed, see that? Is possessed by a desire or affection for it, is addicted to it. And that's basically what we want to be, man. Those are the sons of the Most High. They're possessed by the Spirit of the Most High, right? On the right-hand side. Because everybody's possessed, man. Either you got demons on you that's possessing you, or you possessed by the Holy Spirit. Possession is not always a bad thing, right? But that goes into that word piety, which basically that definition said that you're reverent, you know, to the Lord without even thinking about it, right? Without even thinking about it. Why? Because you're possessed by desire or affection, right? It says is addicted. You're addicted to it. Yeah, we're addicted to YAHAWASHI. All right, we can't get enough, man. All right, and our people know exactly what addiction feels like. Whether it may be, you know, cigarettes or weed. Well, this is an addiction that, hey, man, hey, you can never, you know, get high enough, man. All right, this, hey, man, this is what you want. And this is what we're fighting for. So let's grab this. Let's go back to James real quick. So that's what that word patience goes into. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Basically endurance. And that's what the Lord is checking you. Checking to see if you got. Checking to see if you got that endurance. Verse 4, but let patience have her perfect work. Meaning endurance. Let endurance have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. That word perfect goes into complete. So you can be a complete, you know, daughter or son of the Most High, or child of the Most High, man. It's only accomplished by one way. The Lord got to try you, man. Right? He wants to see. He wants to basically see, Are you going to stay focused in this truth? Are you going to stay reverent in this truth? You know, when you got these other things to take care of, right? Now, let's get this real quick in the book of Philippians. It's Philippians 3 and 13. This is Brother Paul speaking. He says, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind. Yeah, this is the time to forget everything and everybody, right, that was behind us, man. We have now just been called into nobility, right? Called into this truth, man. We cannot bring that baggage, you know, into this truth, man. We read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 yesterday morning about keeping the truth holy, you know, keeping the truth holy. Basically, you cannot mix the truth with things that is of this world. All right, so you got to forget those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before thee. And what's that we're reaching forth to? The promises, man, the kingdom, everlasting life, ruling with YAHAWASHI, being there, seeing our Lord, man. That's what we're reaching for. And you mean to tell me we're going to allow these little petty things, you know, here in Babylon, everything that's decrepit, everything that's defiled to get in our way? No, man. Verse 14, I press toward the mark of the prize of the high calling of Yahawah in Hamashiach YAHAWASHI. Let's read that again. I press toward the mark. See, you got to press toward the mark. Now, when you go into this word mark, it's scopos, which is where you get that word scope from. Basically, you looking at the hope, you looking at the promises, you know, through a scope, you know, with one eye. You're narrowed in, you got laser, you got tunnel vision, man. All right, it says an observer, a watchman, the distant mark looked at, the goal or end one has in view. Yeah, you wouldn't be in this truth if you didn't see, or if you didn't have a goal or end, you know, in sight, if there was no light at the end of the tunnel. All right, so you got to remember these things. You got to remember, you know, what you're in this thing for, right? Because you can easily, you know, lose sight of it. But you got to remind yourself, and this is the importance of us, you know, going over these prophecies, you know, such as like in Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, things, you know, Genesis 49, man, things like that, things that's concerning like the kingdom, Revelation 21, you know, all throughout the scriptures, going over these promises that the Lord has given us, man, because this is what's going to basically add fuel for us, give us fuel to keep going, right? Because you damn sure ain't about to get no hope from the world. We already tried that before, right? This is the only thing that gives us life. So you want to stay plugged in, you know, at all times, man. All right, so let me go over here to Hebrews 6 and 11. And he says, and we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence, right, to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that you be not slothful. Yeah, don't be slothful. This is not the time to be sloppy and slothful in your walk towards YAHAWASHI. Man, this is a time where we got to tighten up. You know, Esau Edom is tightening up, tighten up on his military, tighten up on his death tactics, right? So what do we look like over here being slothful, man? Right? That you be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. And that's the luxury we have of having these scriptures, man. We can easily go into the times of old and look at the faith and the patience of these different saints, of our different forefathers and foremothers, right, who patiently endured and who faithfully endured, and they're counted worthy to receive those promises, right? Because when you read 1 Corinthians chapter 10, he said, there is no temptation that has overtaken you that is not common to man. So everything that you go through, all these different temptations that we go through, all of our foreparents went through it, man, right? Whether it may be Satan afflicting them in the mind, giving them different mind scenarios to make them try to bug out in the mind, or different physical ailments, you know, Satan using your woman, or Satan using your wife, your husband, or whatever the case may be. All right, well, we have examples through the scriptures of all these different saints and believers, right, who patiently and faithfully endured, right? And this is why. This is why they endured. This is Hebrews 11:13. These all died in faith, having not received the promises, right, but having seen them afar off. And that's why they died in faith, because they had like Paul said, they pressed toward the mark, right, of the high calling. And that word mark goes into scopos again, right, meaning that you're looking at something. They were looking at the promises, right, up until the very day that they died. So they died in faith, man, and were persuaded of them. They were persuaded of the promises and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. See that? And we know that this kingdom is on its way, man. Let me grab this NLT. All these people died still believing what Yahawah had promised them. They did not receive what was promised, but they saw it all from a distance and welcomed it. They agreed that they were foreigners and nomads here on the earth, man. And that's our mindset. That's our mindset, man. We know that we're just nomads here. We're pilgrims. All right, this is not our home. Micah 2:10 says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, man. Right, so this was made to be the condition of the battle, and we must fight it. We must fight it, man. And this is why a lot of people are going to continue to fall out. That's not in the right spirit, because they weren't warned that this is what entails of being in the truth. They thought this was just, the next phase in Black culture or something, man. This is far, 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 far away from that, man. This is something that the world has never seen before. All right, the world's never seen, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom wake up and appoint themselves one head in the land of their captivity, right, and chant this place down in this, the spirit of prophecy, all right, and wake up their brothers and sisters, with all that, man. The world hasn't seen that before, right? So we're living in times, man, to where, as Matthew chapter 13 and 2 Peter chapter 1 says, that even our foreparents, long to see, the days that we're living in, man. So we're living in beautiful but yet dangerous times. So let's grab this in Hebrews 12, verse 1. We'll get it NLT. Look at the title. Yahawah's discipline proves his love. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, we're surrounded by a huge crowd of witnesses, man. You got the angels looking at you, right? You got your other brothers and sisters in this truth looking at you, right? Let us strip off every weight that slows us down. So this is a time not to be adding on more burdens, not to be adding on more weights. No, this is a time to be stripping off every single weight, that slows you down. Well, it may be a job. If you got to let go of a job and you see that that's slowing you down in your walk towards your YAHAWASHI shop, strip it off, take it off. Certain family members, your friends, right? Different thinking patterns, eating habits, sleeping habits, everything, man. Whatever is a hindrance, which you know exactly, whoever's listening, you know exactly what hinders you. Well, that's what you got to strip off, man. So let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, whatever particular sin it may be. And I know for a lot of brothers, it may be, that porn demon or whatever. That trips up a lot of brothers, man. And this ain't the time to be dibbling dabbling in stuff like that, man. Especially. All right. And like I said, everybody, who's listening, exactly, what particular sin trips you up. Whether it may be you being a simp for your woman, that trips you up. All right, or sister, you playing a harlot or whatever, you talking, you entertaining all these different men. All right, he says, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance. See that? Let us run with endurance the race Yahawah has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on YAHAWASHI. See that? You keep your eyes on YAHAWASHI. That's how you stay focused, man. because Yahawashi is the apex. He's everything, man. He's that reward. Of course, the kingdom is a reward, but Yahawashi, YAHAWASHI is the ultimate reward. Just like he told our forefather Abraham in Genesis 12:1. We do this by keeping our eyes on Yahawashi, the champion, who initiates and perfects our faith. So he called you into this thing, and he's going to complete it. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross. So Yahawashi endured the cross because he was looking at the promises. He was looking at the joy that was on the other side. And this is what kept him focused, man. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor beside Yahweh's throne. He fought the fight. He knew the condition of the battle, and he overcame it, man. All right, let me get this in 2 Timothy 2, and I want to say verse 12. It says, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. See that? So if we suffer, we're going to reign with him, man. So this is the only way out. We got to suffer. We got to fight. You got to fight to stay in this truth, right? You know, Acts 14:22. Through much tribulation, we shall enter to the kingdom of heaven. Let me just grab that real quick. Acts 14:22. Confirming the souls of the disciples, right? And this is how your spirit is confirmed into Yahawashi, and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. See that? Let me get this in Proverbs chapter 4. Verse 25. I'm sorry, verse 23. Let thy heart, Salakia. Let me get an NLT. It says, guard your heart, meaning your mind, right? So guard your mind above all else, for it determines the course of your life, man. Guard your heart or your mind above all else, for it determines the course of your life. And this is why Satan's trying to sift you. Inward agitation of the mind. If he can get to your mind, he's going to basically remove you out of the faith. So we have to guard our mind, man, because our mind is, your mindset is what determines the course of your life, whether you're being led into salvation or led into damnation, man. And this is why it's so important to put on the mind of Hamashiach Yahawashi. Like 1 Peter chapter 4 says, arm yourselves with the same mind that Yahawashi had. And we just read the type of mindset that he had. He was looking towards the promises. And that's what gave him, you know, the strength and the courage and the bravery to suffer the cross, man. All right. Because he guarded his mind with what? The promises. So look, verse 25, look straight ahead. See that? And fix your eyes on what lies before you. Yeah, you're focused. Right? You're not being swerved from your deliberate, you know, purpose at your task at hand. So look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. See that? That's why Paul says that I press toward the mark. I press toward the mark. So mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. And this is the safe path, man. It's truth. There is no other safe path, man. Christianity ain't it. Islam ain't it. You know, simping ain't it. Being a nigga ain't it. This is the safe path. Verse 27, don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil. Yeah, don't get sidetracked, man. Stay focused. Stay focused, man. All right. So that's pretty much all I wanted to touch into. You know, Lord willing, you know, that sister was edified, and everyone else. You know, if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, you know, of course, just put it in the description box, you know, the comments section, you know, but Lord willing, y'all was edified, you know, DTA at Baba Ball. Until next time, Shalom.